Sergeant Taylor, Downtown Services. Today is December the 3rd, 2015. Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. It's about 1 hour before kickoff. I'm starting here at 75 and Clay. I'm going to enter onto southbound I-75 and take it through. As you can see, as I enter here at Clay, just north of I-94, the congestion has already begun. It's not too much congestion for people entering onto the 94 exchange coming from southbound 75. But as you'll see in a second, there's a little bit more congestion. It appears to be earlier from people coming off of 94, both east and west. Extreme congestion. So, like I said, I'm gonna take this ride. As we'll see as we get a little further south of this 94, the congestion to the right is from vehicles entering from the 94 exchange. The congestion to the left is the beginning of the line to exit the Madison exit ramp. I rode past earlier. I was actually on the Ferry Street overpass, so I was able to see directly onto the exchange coming off of both eastbound and westbound I-94 entering onto southbound I-75. It appeared to me that both exchanges were heavily congested, which would lead me to believe that both eastbound and westbound 94 were experiencing an increase in traffic. And the congestion made it appear as though if you were on either of those freeways, you would realize something was going on, even if you weren't headed to the Lions game. Now we are beginning to see the thick of the double laning for the Madison exit. Some people are starting to realize, and they're putting their blinkers on to exit from that lane. However, the actual exiting lane is at a dead stop. And now as we get closer, eventually you'll see a lane that is at a dead stop very similar to this. It's going to be on the right hand side, and that's the lane to exit, I believe, the Lafayette exit right near the Greektown Casino parking structure. So again, the double laning for Ford Field Madison exit. Some cars are actually holding in place. Some cars are realizing that's not the lane they want to be in. Mack Avenue is pretty heavy also. For those people who park north of the stadium. And again, this is my assumption. Back to this double lane. Some people are realizing they're actually coming out of that lane. Some people are actually trying to fudge their way into the primary exiting lane. Some people are content with rolling slow as if it were a 2-lane exit sort of strategy. And again, we're getting pretty thick as we approach the Fisher Service Drive, or excuse me, not the Fisher Service Drive, the Fisher Freeway interchange. Congestion being generated from the Fisher, people attempting to get onto the Fisher. We're closer to the Madison, and we're also starting to see vehicles that will be attempting to exit at Lafayette exit. Heavy double laning. Somebody completely stopped. There's one of those last minute fudgers, that GMC Yukon. Oh, surprisingly, the Fisher exchange is not the cause. It's relatively empty. There's no one attempting to go southbound. And I'm pretty sure there's adequate parking over near Cass Tech, or actually it will be behind the Fox Theater. There we go. More cars stopped and sitting, like this F-150, trying to be a last minute fudger. And there we are. We're approaching the Madison exit, but again, the Lafayette exit is also starting to accumulate. There is the Madison exit, Madison ramp. And I can even see at the top of the ramp, people are staying to the right, not gravitating towards 2-lane as if they were going to proceed westbound on Madison. So here we are approaching the Lafayette exit itself. Another line. But as we pass those two, smooth sailing. Realize we're also a few minutes out from start of a hockey game. I'm actually going to come up here at the Jefferson East exit, ride past Larned Street. I don't know the hours of Blue Cross's parking structure, but again, downtown is becoming extremely walkable. So I'll come up here. I'm quite sure if I were a fan or guest of Ford Field, I'm pretty sure I would be able to find some sort of game parking. I know parking structures at Rensen, they're 24-hour, I want to say. And again, if we can come up with some signage to recommend for these people to park at Rensen, and maybe use the people mover to go around to Grand Circus Park, or again, just recognizing that Detroit has become very walkable, downtown Detroit. We might have a plan that could eliminate some of this congestion. DPD scout car on a traffic stop. go through Bovian just to see what type of parking I could find. A few spaces. Actually, with it being both hockey and Lions, is actually looking as though it's a little more full, so to speak. And I can only venture to believe that if it's this full in some of the outward parking lots, it has to be fuller in the lots that are directly attached to the venues. So plenty of parking structure space. Got to do a better job advertising where more parking is available. Alright, I'm going to end this video. That's a run from Clay Street, southbound 75, coming up at the Jefferson exit. And as we all saw, as we passed the Lafayette exit, it was wide open. But approaching both the Madison and the Lafayette exits, it was extreme congestion. And that's the concern that we have. So